Let us now understand how breathing occurs in human beings. First, we inhale air through our nostrils. This inhaled air passes into the nasal cavity. Here, the air is filtered and heated. From the nasal cavity, the inhaled air passes down the throat and enters the windpipe known as trachea. From the trachea, it reaches both our lungs, which are present in the chest cavity. This cavity is surrounded by ribs on both sides. These ribs form a cage-like structure called the rib cage. A large muscular sheet called the diaphragm forms the floor of the chest cavity. The rib cage and the diaphragm show movements during inhalation and exhalation. Once the inhaled air reaches the lungs, it enters tiny air sacs known as alveoli inside the lungs. Here in the alveoli, gas exchange takes place, that is, oxygen is exchanged for carbon dioxide. The oxygen in the alveoli travels into the bloodstream and is used up in cellular respiration. The carbon dioxide in the blood moves into the alveoli and is expelled out of the human body through
Mechanism of breathing. Respiration occurs in two stages. 1. Inspiration, during which atmospheric air is drawn in. And 2. Expiration, in which the alveolar air is released out. The movement of air into and out of the lungs is carried out by creating a pressure gradient between the lungs and the atmosphere. When the air pressure within the alveolar spaces falls below atmospheric pressure, air enters the lungs, resulting in inspiration. That is, there is a negative pressure in the lungs with respect to atmospheric pressure, provided the larynx is open. Similarly, expiration takes place when the air pressure within the alveoli exceeds atmospheric pressure. Air is blown from the lungs. The flow of air is rapid or slow in proportion to the magnitude of the pressure difference because atmospheric pressure remains relatively constant. Flow is determined by how much above or below atmospheric pressure the pressure within the lungs rises or falls. Alveolar fluctuations are caused by expansion and contraction of lungs resulting from tensing and relaxing of the muscles. Inspiration is initiated by the contraction of diaphragm, which increases the volume of thoracic chamber. In the antero-posterior axis, in the contraction of external intercostals, muscles lifts up the ribs and sternum, causing an increase in the volume of thoracic chamber in the dorsoventral axis. The overall increase in the thoracic volume causes a similar increase in pulmonary volume. An increase in pulmonary volume decreases intrapulmonary pressure, which is less than atmospheric pressure, which forces the air from outside to move into the lungs. That is, inspiration. Relaxation of the diaphragm and intercostal muscles returns the diaphragm and sternum to their normal positions and reduce the thoracic volume and thereby the pulmonary volume. This leads to an increase in intrapulmonary pressure to slightly above the atmospheric pressure, causing the expulsion of air from the lungs. That is, expiration. On an average, a healthy human breathes 12 to 16 times per minute. The volume of air involved in breathing movement can be estimated by using a spirometer, which helps in clinical assessment of pulmonary functions. In man, diaphragm plays a major role in respiration, while in women, the ribs play a major role. Rate of respiration in human beings changes with age. The rate of respiration also changes during emotional disturbances, exercises, and other activities. Rate of respiration in different age groups of human beings. 1. Newborn child, 32 times per minute. 2. Children up to the age of 5 years, 26 times per minute. 3. Man of 25 years, 15 times per minute. 4. Man of 50 years, 18 times